0-5 is a deep will to be down. West Coast is 1, and we'll deal with them in a moment. But Melbourne, for periods on Saturday night, it looked macabre. They gave a little glimpse, but they are in a hell of their own making right now.
People say it all the time, it's never as bad and it's never as good. And right now it feels bad.
Melbourne just don't look like they've got any system.
Look at these pictures now. I mean, this to me, it's a devastated group.
Yeah, we're all pretty flat. Like 0-5 is not where we want to be. It's not where anyone wants to be.
But they're broken. They're broken in the way they play.
You can see it from those pictures that they're broken. They're broken in the way they play, but it looks like they're broken in spirit as well.
We need to show more fight than what we showed. We did it for a quarter. That's all I'll say. We did it for a quarter.
It's same old from Melbourne Football Club, and it's not getting the job done.
Something has to give at selection, or in the end you'll say to the coach, if you want to back these guys, coach, you'll back them to the end of your career.
I'll be surprised if he coaches next year for the fact that it's been too long where he has not been able to have any answers.
You know, it's not about me. It's about the club, it's about the team, it's about these players. And we're in a challenging spot right now, and we acknowledge that. But my focus is just doing my job to the best of the ability. Now it's AFL footy. You've got to fight your way through it.
There's a few layers to this now. There's the despondency of the Demon community that you're well dialed into. There's the dysfunction that we see in the way that they play every week. There's the rush to the end. It's round 5. This club won't move on Simon Goodwin if that's the way it ends up going until we're well into the teens of this season. There's the platitudes that come from the club when Brad Green puts out just a letter to the members which says nothing other than they're trying really hard at the moment. So maybe you're first sitting through it, broadcasting it, and then get to work.
Yeah, no, all of the criticism is warranted. And when you're 0-5 and you open the door to talk about love and connection, all that sort of stuff, and then it doesn't play itself out, then you open yourself up to all the criticism that comes their way from media and supporters who are emotional and passionate. Some of it's really considered criticism, some of it's hysterical, but that's where you sit at 0-5, and the coach is the one that cops that in the end. So, you know, I'm like everyone else. I'm looking at it going, yeah, it's a horrible start to the season. What do you do as a result of it? You're right. The coach, and I've said this before, I think as a premiership coach, he gets time to try and coach his way out of it. But, you know, there will come a time where the pressure will get too much if they can't fix it. But you either buy into the emotional toil, which I think they've done all that. They've done the glove connection, all that. Okay, park that. Let's get to work on something that happens, something that you can actually get your teeth into. So I looked today and had a look at it, and they've played 5 games and lost them all. They've won inside 50 on 4 of them. Now, people go, well, what's that? Well, what that means is that in the games that they have been badly beaten, they get field position. So they're able to get it to the dangerous part of the ground, Gerard. They don't have an issue. 4 of the 5 games, they get it in. And this is going way back over the last 2 years. If you win inside 50, you should win over 70% of your games, Gerard. They've lost 44. But this year, they've got it. That's a 4 out of 5.
Yep.
So I look at that and I go, well, what? And then I go, OK, they can't be moving the footy. I go and have a look at it. They're 5th. So move the footy from D50 to forward 50, and people can sit at home and go, what's all this mean? Well, this general attitude that this whole thing is hopeless is fair enough until you dig in. You can move the footy, 5th best in the comp. When it gets in there, you're the 3rd worst for scoring. You can win inside 50, you get it in there, you can't score. You're not taking contested mark, you're not taking uncontested mark. You win the centre bounce 16-7 and you score 1 point from centre bounce clearance. That to me says everything that's going on in that most important part of the ground is non-functional. And I've got a forward bias, so I look at it all the time.
All right, give us if you were there, if you were trusted with this forward line.
Well, there's no craft. It's just craft is such a trendy bulldust word, but it's how you play as a forward. And back in the day, you'd look and forward and you're directing and you're helping and you're working for one another. There's none of that. It's stationary, kick on your head. They're the worst contested mark team in the comp, yet Melbourne keep kicking on their heads. So they're not hard to defend, because there's no movement. And for 15 minutes in that third quarter, they were everything that they haven't been. zipping one way, the lead's going left, right and centre, and for about 10 minutes that Essendon defence went, hang on a minute, now they're hard to defend, and then they went back into their playing plan. So that's where I'd be putting all my energies into that. And the problem is when you haven't got any consistency in that area, you've got no general, and the generals are all working here basically.
Yes.
Tom Hawkins, Jonathan Brown, Jack Reed, all forwards that used to own that. They don't own that inside 50. They're directing, they're talking. Jacob Van Rooyen ain't that. He can't touch it at the moment, the kid, and that's not his fault. He's a kid. But geez, I hope he's getting some help, Gerard. And I hope that whole group's getting some help because it's going in there more than it is the opposition. And it doesn't look like they're kicking 6 goals, 8 goals and 9 goals. So get to work on that. See, and you know what? You know, all the boys talk about how, you know, they look lost and beaten and defeated and unhappy. Well, you are. The best teams I played in were always blueing with each other because the forwards were getting into the midfield for not kicking properly. The backmen are getting into the midfield for not... That's robust standard setting. I'm not sure that's there right now. So get to work on that. Maybe that can help.
Turn
I'll be
ball
back
in
here
there
next week and
into
do it all
scoring.
again.
I know.